Money! Now that I have your attention, oh, I don't have your attention. Well, what about now? Model kits!
You had me at money.
Now that I have your attention, we're going to be taking a look at the 3 model kits right in front of us, starting with the odd man out. The BV222 by Revell, then we have the Benz 500 SCC by Tamiya, and finally, the Audi Quattro. We're going to be taking a look, doing a rapid fire review a la Reviews on a Run, if you remember that network. Good for you. Love Victor Lucas, man. He's a legend, Canadian legend. Anyways, we're going to be taking a look at the 3 model kits right here, rapid fire reviews to see if they're any good. Starting with the odd man out, the BV222. Is this kit any good? Yeah, this kit's excellent. Asking if this kit is good is like asking if water is refreshing in a hot summer's day. Yes, this kit is incredible, belonging into the upper echelons of model kits released and made by Revell within the past 15 or to 20 years. Often hailed by the community as Revell's best, sometimes, depending on who you are, of course. With a wingspan or overall measurement of 50 by 63 centimeters, this thing will require a separate display case or an entirely new display cabinet. It's a little ridiculous, but often considered worth it. I've been working here for more than 5 or almost 5 years now. The praise this kit gets is honestly ridiculous, but warranted, and I'll show you why. All kits will be opened today using the Excel snap blade. For reference, my Yeti, not sponsored, mug right here that I bring to work every single day is 1 foot long. And this is the fuselage of the BV222. Look at that. Oh yeah. And despite the large size, frankly ridiculous size, the detail is out of this world. Typically, once you scale up a model kit, to save cost, a lot of companies what they'll do is skimp out on details to save printing costs, right? But not Revell, I guess. Times are changing, guys. You can't really hate on Revell anymore, unless it's an old kit, I guess. But even then, little to no flash marks anywhere, little to no trimming required, maybe like stuff like that, the odd mark right there. But even then, that's kind of expected for a large kit, you know, a kit of this size. And there's like nothing. It would be more obvious on the wing. And no, it's genuinely like perfect. I've never heard of a customer in my 5 years here complain about fitting issues regarding this kit. It also comes with a pretty sizable decal sheet right here. Soak in the details. Oh yeah, very nice. Water is your best friend, but if you want, you can use Microsol Microset. We've already hammered in how detailed each individual piece is, but typically massive kits like this have free floating parts, and as far as I can tell, there are none, which prevents any sort of shaking inside the plastic container, which will then lead into scratches that you have to fill with thicker and thicker primer, or God forbid, putty. Get that out of here. And speaking of putty, yeah, there's a near 0% chance that you're going to need putty for this model kit. Overall, this is a near immaculate experience, not including any sort of accidents in shipping, God forbid, right? Like getting squished or something. But other than that, this kit is a 9 out of 10. The only drawback I can potentially see from this kit, preventing it from a perfect 10 out of 10, this is like a 9.9, is this is basically an airbrush only kit. Even some of its smaller details like the propellers are quite big as your typical Warhammer model kit, like, you know, a Space Marine. So you have your work cut out for you. But other than that, this kit's basically perfect. Next up is the Mercedes-Benz SEC. The SEC, after all that, if you get the reference, you know ball. So this kit is good. I mean, that's about it. I would say that it is standard fare Tamiya cars. Now, the standard fare Tamiya car is a borderline 7.5 out of 10 at least. So that's not at all negative, by the way. And you can see that, of course, even the bottom chassis is highly detailed as per the Tamiya usual. No, it's like, again, no flash marks, no num marks. Like, well, it wouldn't have num marks because you haven't started building it, but you know what I mean. No damages, right? Nothing you need to trim. It's Tamiya. Again, it's standard fare. This is now becoming more common, at least from what I can tell, is windshields that are one piece. Typically, or even back in the day with the older kits, a lot of the windshields are in two 2+ segments, right? Or sometimes if you're lucky, you have there's like 4. And yeah, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it just coming into one piece like that. One thing that I will say is because this is a colored mold injected plastic that is kind of stark gray to match the color of the Benz in the box art, when you snip parts off, you will have some sort of, it looks like damage, but it's really not. But it's really just parts of the plastic where now it's going to be like more white. But that's because it wasn't injected with that particular color, if that makes sense. At least where you snipped it off. So there's going to be a lot more sanding for kits like these. I mean, there's a lot of sanding in car kits in general, so you're gonna expect it, but just a little heads up. And of course, plenty of detail with the tiny parts right there. Got the engine block, right, that you will always cover. So I know some people, regulars, who don't even bother with the engine, they just put on the hood. So fair enough, man. More power to you. Rubber tires, decal sheets, standard fare. Standard fare. So yeah, overall this kit is a very 7 out of 10. Not bad, and it's good. That's not a negative. Again, that's good. If you were to go to the dictionary and look for the definition of good, you'll find an image of this. Yeah, I'm a standard fare. Though the one advantage it has over older like Revell or AMT kits is sometimes those older kits have molded in hoods. This one does not. It comes separated as its own piece. So meaning if you want to show off the hood, the engine block that you rigorously painted, you have that option. So props to that. Though I would have wanted like an opening sort of hinge gimmick, but it's just a standard kit. That's not going to happen. So here's another kit that is just good. The Audi Quattro. And as you can see here, it is a smaller overall package compared to the last one, but same injection mold plastic color as the last one, though this one has a black underside here, which is no big deal, whatever, who cares. And yeah, it's Tamiya, so medium to high detail on a lot of the kits, though I will say this one does have chrome on its rims. I believe the other one did not. I could rewind the footage. I believe it didn't. But yes, and it comes with a driver. So that's a pretty big plus on the field there. Rubber tires, of course. And we got the decal sheet, which is a little bit bigger than the other one as well. So you know what? With all that being said, this is a 7.5. It's slightly more gooder, better. Before we get started with the final segment of the video, what do I call this entire kind of series? I can't call it Reviews in the Run. That already exists or existed. Now I don't want to slight Canadian legend Victor Lucas. Shout outs to him. And I can't keep calling it just rapid fire reviews. A little too generic. If you guys have any ideas on what to call it, comment it down below. No guarantee we'll use it, but hey, we're open to ideas. So the final segment of this rapid fire review pending is a Warhammer kind of review, but we're not going to be reviewing each individual kit, just an overall segment, because this range refresh for the Space Wolves, which is well deserved, by the way, and they waited a long time throughout 8th, 9th, and basically most of 10th. Yeah, they waited for this refresh, and they deserve it. And I'm just going to say this outright. This is the best range refresh the Space Marines overall has ever seen. Each model kit is brought to life with plenty of character, and that's the biggest thing Primaris has always been criticized of, is that they're all generic, kind of streamlined, and not in character. Kind of like the difference between the Star Wars First Order Stormtrooper from the new trilogy and the OG original Stormtroopers. There's a big difference from Firstborn to Primaris, but you know, the transition from Firstborn to True Scale Primaris didn't seem to affect Space Wolves all that much. They seem to benefit, actually. They look incredible. No detail has been compromised here. Overall, this entire range refresh gets a 10 out of 10 from me. They nailed the range refresh out of the park. When these guys come back in stock, the majority of them are out of stock. These are the ones that are in stock still with more than 2. Yeah, please, if you're even a remotely like a fan of Space Wolves or Space Marines, and you've been thinking of, you know, getting into Space Marines, the Space Wolves are the perfect chapter. In fact, I'm going to compare them to a much maligned kind of transfer from Firstborn to Primaris. Yeah, I'm talking about the Blood Angels from last year's release. Oh my goodness, this is their captain. Compare that to their captain. You can just fall asleep. You'll fall asleep. Seriously, the only difference is that he has a wing on his shoulder. And he's painted red. That's the only time you'll be able to confidently tell that he's a Blood Angel. Plus, this guy, he has pelts, the unique shield. Oh, man. Oh, my. It's not even fair. You know what's the worst part? Blood Angels, hence their name if you're not familiar with, have very Catholic, angel, vampire-inspired imagery. You know what they did with the Sanguinary Guard? They just gave them generic jetpacks, and they removed the Firstborn wings that was on the Firstborn jetpacks. Yes, they had winged jetpacks as Firstborn Marines. When they upgraded to Primaris, True Scale, they removed the wings. What is wrong with Games Workshop? Why? Why? Why would you remove the wings? It's like the one thing you had to do is to maintain the wings and make them better. What? Yeah, no, the Blood Angels overall range refresh last year gets like a 2 out of 10, and that's me being generous. You remove the wings. What are you doing? And they're even with the ones with the tiny little wing on the shoulder. It's just boring. You know, if you looked at this box when you're trying to sleep at night and you can't sleep, look at this box and you'll fall right back to sleep. Well, that was a lot of fun, and hopefully it was informative for you guys. And yeah, 2 to 5 shots, I think maybe stretching it per kit, but I think I concisely summarized why a kit is either good or even incredible, perfect, and maybe in the future, terrible. God forbid. But yeah, if you guys like what you saw, subscribe and follow us on all the links in our social media down below, especially our real-time website. We ship within Canada. And till the next episode of Rapid Fire Reviews, I'll see you guys next time. Name pending.